Welcome back, eh? This is the Canadian Silver Seeker, and I hope you guys are having another great day like I am. Just got back from my weekly LCS trip, and I got the same thing that I always get. Got myself $5 of 80% junk silver in Canada. I guess I must have mentioned to him a while back that I liked King George the Sixth effigy as one of my favorites because he's been sorting it and giving me all King George the Sixth mostly lately. I have had some Queen Elizabeth, I think, when he ran out of King George, but he said today, lucky we had just enough to fill the bag and the $5. And I was like, well, I told you a couple weeks ago, like, you don't have to give me all King George the Fifth. Like, I'm happy with whatever. Doesn't really matter as long as it's 80% junk silver in 25-cent form. It is gonna be good for me. So, got a nicely toned one there. Pretty dark. But yeah, there's $5. It's all King George the Sixth. I had over $5 in a bag there, so I can roll a roll up here from 37 to 52 and put it in the bag. Already got it in my spreadsheet for the week. And next week I might not actually get my 80% silver. We will see. There is a brand new 36 millimeter Canadian silver dollar out just recently here. It is another, I believe, 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force, but it is a little different than the last one. It came out in a proof special set, I think it was called. Let me just confirm here. Special edition silver dollar proof set. So yeah, it comes out. I'll throw a picture up on there. Comes out with the set. The rest of the set is not silver, so all I will be picking up is the silver dollar. My LCS has a bunch of these sets coming in, he says, and he's gonna break them up and sell me just the silver dollar because that's all I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the proof coins, especially if they are not silver. It doesn't matter to me. Have a small numismatic collection from when I was younger. But yeah, it's not something that I'm looking to collect going forward. If it doesn't have a silver or a gold or a platinum content, I probably don't want it in my stack. So yeah, maybe get that next week, depending. It's supposed to have shipped on the 4th, I believe it says on their website, if you ordered it. So, well, actually now I just refreshed the website and it says July 17th now. It did say July 4th previously last week, so he might not have them. However, I know some of these LCSs and people that buy from the Royal Canadian Mint directly, like distributors, they sometimes get their stuff a little sooner than the average person who just buys directly off the website. So he might have it, he might not. If he doesn't, I'll just pick myself up some more 80% junk. One other thing that he was mentioning today that I didn't actually previously know is that apparently he and other distributors, they actually sell silver back to the Royal Canadian Mint that they can melt down and I guess use in their products of some sort. I didn't know this was a thing. I just assumed the Royal Canadian Mint gets all of their silver and gold from mines and, big distributors, but apparently they don't. Apparently you can, if you're I don't know the exact specifics, but my LCS says he sends silver to the Royal Canadian Mint. They buy it off of him, and they buy it fairly quickly. Whereas apparently they come out with some new notice that there might be like a wait period of like 30 to 60 days going forward. So yeah, he's hoping that doesn't happen because that ties your money up for a long time if you're if you're selling to them regularly, I guess. So that would be a little inconvenient. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting information. I didn't know that, regular coin stores and whatnot would sell silver products back to the Royal Canadian Mint. One other thing that I did, I had a bit more of a chat with him about silver and gold in Canada that I think I previously mentioned. But yeah, I kind of wanted to know a little bit more about it. He really likes junk silver. My LCS, he loves the non-pure silver and gold. For instance, I remember previously when I kind of first met him, I took in some old jewelry that I had acquired over the years that I didn't want anymore. And it wasn't obviously pure gold because it was jewelry, and he'd bought that, but he won't buy like a pure gold maple. And he will, I think, like trade and buy a little bit of pure silver, but he tries to stick away mostly from that. Like he does buy it because I know he buys maples and certain things, but certain things he doesn't. And why he doesn't, he says, is because the difference between pure silver and like junk silver in Canada, and I've mentioned this before, is when you buy pure silver or gold in Canada, you pay no taxes on that bullion. There is actually a law that states federally there is no tax on it, depending on what province and where you're purchasing that silver. You may pay tax provincially. For instance, if you buy from the CIBC bank, they will charge you a provincial tax on your product. And places like the post office, they'll charge you tax in your province if it's applicable, but there's no federal taxes on those silver. Whereas when you buy junk silver, you do have to pay the tax on that. Now, the difference is when you sell this silver back to the LCS, even if you're selling a small quantity, say $200 or $300 worth of pure silver and or gold to an LCS, well, LCS has to take down your information, your social security number, whatever identifying information, and then you, as a Canadian citizen, are supposed to then put that on your income tax for the year as basically taxable income in some way, shape, or form. I haven't sold a lot, so take all of this with a grain of salt. There's probably people out there with better knowledge, but I just figured I would share with you what I understand. So what he told me about junk silver is you can take in a quantity of about $1,000 into the LCS in junk silver and sell it, and they do not require to take down your information. You do not have to share that sale with the government, and so as long as you're not doing it like as a business where you're going in every day or every week on a regular basis selling him some silver, then he says, yeah, he's not going to take down your information. He doesn't have to worry about really recording that. Like, he records the sale and whatnot, but he doesn't have to worry about the government too much. They don't look into it. Whereas he says he has been to court 3 separate times over pure silver, where the government looks at his books and then they basically take him to court to provide the identifying information and blah blah blah. He says it's a huge hassle to him, and so that's why he sticks away. Like, he will not buy pure gold because he has been he told me a story previously where he went to court. Basically, he bought what was it? He bought a gold something off of someone, a pure gold coin, and that person, he paid them, and then that person came back like a week or two later and complained to him that he didn't give him the full value or didn't pay him or something, that person then, like, now I don't know the full details. Maybe the price of gold went up in that time and the person wasn't happy. I don't know. But the person took him to court. He ended up having to pay for it twice, apparently. And he said it was just like, it would have been more money to hire the lawyer than to just pay this guy and get rid of him a second time in a fashion where it was, recorded to a point where the guy couldn't come back on him again. So I don't know, like I say, the full story, but that's what it seems to be. So if I take all this bag in, he would have to take my information down. But if I took it in at $1,000 increments, randomly, not the same time every week, go in a Tuesday and then maybe go in on a Saturday, a couple weeks later, and sell him another 1,000. He's not going to take down my information. And apparently even like some larger sales, he said between like 5 and 10,000, he's had the government look at his books a few times and they don't care. And so you also, as a Canadian citizen, then wouldn't have to put that sale down on your income tax for the year. Now take that with a grain of salt. If you're inherit a huge chunk of silver and then you're selling it quite often, you might want to worry about how much income you're making off of it. Once again, I'm not the best person in the world. I haven't sold a bunch before, but this is what I understand the difference is between. You pay your taxes when you buy this, when you pay your taxes when you sell that. That's kind of how it goes in Canada. The government wants their money no matter which way. It's just a little bit different way. You buy it, they get their money. Where you sell it, they get their money instead. So that's, I guess, the information I got for you today. This was a little bit longer video than I actually expected, but I wanted to share that information that I gained from my LCS. If you want to sell your junk silver, sell it in $1,000 increments, and then you don't have to worry too much about the government's nose being in your business and having to pay them taxes on something like that. So once again, take this with a grain of salt. If you do get a large inheritance or something like that, maybe talk to a lawyer. I am just a guy who likes shiny. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single piece of silver or gold to like and subscribe. You guys mean the world to me. Happy stacking, eh?